Do you want to create a vaporwave like this in DaVinci Resolve Fusion? Well, here is a terrible tutorial. First, put in a Fusion clip. Extend it to the amount of time required. In this case, I extended it to 25 seconds. Put in a background node, and turn the alpha down to 0. Then, connect it to a grid node. Go to the first frame of your composition. Add a transform node. Set the edges to wrap. Add a keyframe to the X value and go to the last frame of your composition. Increase the X value to an appropriate amount and preview the results. I found for this 25-second clip an increase between 0.5 and 1 produced the most desirable results. For this next part, I would recommend turning off high quality view by right-clicking on this bar and deselecting the checkbox. Add in an image plane 3D node. Connect the grid node to it. Add a 3D merge node and a 3D camera and a 3D render. Preview the 3D render node. If you can't see anything, click the camera and drag it back in the 3D view. The basics of 3D movement. Hold down the middle mouse button and right-click your mouse to look around. Holding shift and using the middle mouse button will shift you around your scene. Command and the middle mouse button will zoom you in and out. Click on your image plane. Adjust the scale and rotate it on the X, Y, and Z axis. Make sure that the lines are heading towards the camera in the 3D render view. This is the most finicky part of this project. Add in a displace 3D node and connect your image plane to it. Add in fast noise and then connect a rectangle mask to it. Connect the fast noise to the displace 3D node. View the render node. Move the mask back so the displacement is done at the very end of the scene. Increase the softness on the rectangle mask by a slight amount. Then select the fast noise. Increase the detail, the contrast, and the scale. If desired, increase the seethe rate by a small amount. Click on the displace 3D node and adjust the scale as needed. Copy everything from the left of the displace node, including the noise and the mask. Get rid of the grid and the transform node. Set the background alpha to full. Connect it to the original grid with a merge 3D node. On the duplicated image plane, bring down the Y a tiny amount, just until you can see the lines on top of it. Now we will add in the blocky effect. I would recommend using the MT fractal static node from Reactor, as I feel it generates better results. But for this example, I will use the normal fast noise node from DaVinci Resolve Fusion. Add in a fast noise node and merge it before the transform node. Change the noise's color to what you want the final scene to look like. Add in a mosaic blur and turn down the pixel frequency. Experiment with the noise node. Turn up the contrast, scale, and detail. Once you get a result you are happy with, turn up the seethe amount to 0.02. Simply copy the top node tree. You will not even need the black underlying layer. Paste this above. Add in a transform 3D node. Connect it to the second merge 3D node. Using the transform 3D node, adjust the rotation and the Z-axis and bring it back. Adjust the scale until it covers the entire screen. After the render 3D node, add in a soft glow. Using this top bar, deselect any colors you don't want. If you do not like any of the colors provided here, you may use a color correction node to get the optimal hue you desire. Turn down the gain on the soft glow. Add in a background node and merge it underneath the soft glow. This next node is only available in the premium version of DaVinci Resolve. Add in an analog damage node. Set the preset to blank. Turn up vintaging slightly, noise scale slightly, signal noise slightly, chroma noise slightly, the color to around 1.4, the scan line sharpness to around 0.3 to 0.4. Experiment around with this node to get the look you want. Now we will add in an RGB split. Leave the Fusion page. Add an adjustment clip on top of our Fusion composition. Go to the Color page. Click on the Color tab and go to Nodes. Add a Splitter Combiner node. Click on the first node it adds. Go to the 9th box and then click on these 3 sliders. Adjust the pan to between -3 and -10. Click on the bottom node. Set the pan to the same number but positive. Here is something extra I would recommend you add on top of this. Go back into your Fusion page. Add in a camera shake node. If you wish to view this in real time, add in the background and add a mask on top of it. Connect the background to the camera shake node and change the settings from there. Set the camera shake speed and strength down a lot. This should only be a incredibly small and subtle effect. Set the edges to duplicate. Disconnect the camera shake. Add this before your analog damage node. Make sure not to overdo it. Now render the scene out. You are done. If this is too taxing on your computer, you may add some of the finishing nodes in layers after rendering out this main composition. I hope you have enjoyed this terrible tutorial. Thanks to Patrick Sterling for inspiration.